one of our main products we are developing at Access for You. It's called Ultimate Screen Access. So let's move on to the agenda. Yeah, first we're going to start to elaborate about Access for You, what kind of company it is. Then we dive into USA. So why do we develop USA, what kind of program it is, and about the unique selling points, of course, also limitations. Want to talk about products we did with USA, and yeah, give you information how you can use USA yourself as a supplier or as a customer, and how we can help you with that. Yes, okay, let's move on to the next slide, Dion.
Yes, perfect.
We were already there, I think. Yeah, because in Access for You, yeah, Access for You is a sister company of Babbage, so we work very closely together. Access for You is a software engineering company, so we produce software like Ultimate Screen Access, but for example, also we produce hardware for motor disabilities. So we have also the speech box, for example. That's a very concise box. And if you have just one button, and if you press it, you can dictate text, and it will go onto your screen. So we have different hardware we also develop. And yeah, so the programmers of Babbage work for Access for You to develop software, for example, Ultimate Screen Access. Now, why did we develop Ultimate Screen Access? Yeah, in 2009, 2010, about that period, we used Supernova. We delivered Supernova at our customers, but many of our customers weren't very satisfied about the product. It was it often crashes, or it was very slow. So people were complaining about the product, and of course that's not what we wanted. And in workplaces, it was hard to install on server environments. So yeah, we were really looking for other solutions. Yeah, then we started with the Window Eyes, and at first it was a very a good software package. Many customers of us liked it, and we could easily implement it on some server environments. But when Windows 7 became more common, and Windows Eyes 8 was launched, we experienced a lot of problems. It wasn't working very properly in Windows 7. So then again, we were looking for a new alternative. Then we used ZoomText, JAWS, Magic at that time, and also Supernova for adaptation of workplaces and to deliver it to our customers. But again, yeah, we weren't very satisfied about the performance. ZoomText and also Supernova were very heavy. You have to have high specified computers, and also in server environments we weren't able to install it properly. Also IT professionals were complaining about the high demands that Supernova has, for example. And in about 2015, NVDA was becoming a more popular screen reader. NVDA was used by customers mostly as a secondary screen reader. So if Supernova was crashing, then you could use NVDA just to save your document and restart the computer. But yeah, NVDA was becoming more popular, was becoming more professional screen reader. So a lot of our customers were using it from 2015 as a primary screen reader. And but of course, it's only Braille and speech. So we want to have a solution that also could also help our low vision customers. And we made an add-on in NVDA to connect ZoomText to NVDA. So for example, if you go on a website to the next header with H, then also the magnification of ZoomText follows. And we delivered it to a number of customers at that time. And yeah, some customers were satisfied in their home situation, for example. But we also saw many customers on server environments that couldn't use ZoomText, and there were a lot of complaints about the ZoomText that was frozen screens, crashes, instability. So so we also experienced problems at the time with ZoomText. But about a year later, Windows 10 had a major update, and Microsoft gave us access to the accessibility engines of Windows 10. So we could use a magnification engine that Microsoft uses for the magnification in their accessibility options. And we could also reach other accessibility options and integrate it in our own program, Ultimate Screen Access. So Ultimate Screen Access is our own program, but we use the engines that are available in Windows 10, for example, magnification. And we integrated Ultimate Screen Access as an add-on in NVDA. So if you have NVDA and you go to your add-ons section in your menu, you'll see, for example, the Vocalizer synthesizer and also Ultimate Screen Access add-on. But also in your settings, you normally have general and speech and braille, for example, but there you also see now screen, and there you find all the options of Ultimate Screen Access. And in your help menu, there you also find the help menus for Ultimate Screen Access. So Ultimate Screen Access is fully integrated into NVDA as an add-on. And because it uses the engine of Microsoft 10 itself for the magnification, it's very fast. If you press a key, the magnification directly goes to the right focus, and it is a very stable and a very lightweight package. And that is really why it's how it differs from other packages. If you have a very slow PC, it's even we are even able to run USA. And so that was also our strategy. We don't want to create the package with the most functionality, but we really want to offer a package that is stable, fast, lightweight, and has the most common functionality. So it has magnification, focus marks. You can easily adapt your mouse pointer, of course. You can invert colors and, of course, enlarge your screen. But there are not as many functionality, for example, in ZoomText and in Supernova if you compare it to USA. Now we are constantly improving in USA. At this time we have USA 2.0. There's some extra functionality, and it's now also suitable for Windows 11. So we are constantly improving the USA. But our main focus is not to extend functionality, but we really want to offer a stable package that people really like. And we see that about, we can help about 80% of the people with USA. There are some functionalities like dual screen, for example, that isn't supported by USA on this moment. And then we offer our customers, for example, ZoomText or Supernova. If people really need some specific functionality, but we can help about 80% of our customers with USA with the basic functionality it offers. I later on come back to you about the specific positive aspects if you want to implement it in organizations, because it's lightweight, so you can easily install it on server environments. And I think now I give it to Dion. You want to dive in more into the unique aspects of USA, and of course give you a nice demo of the program.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Joost. And to continue where Joost left off, as Joost already explained to you, Ultimate Screen Access is an addition to the NVDA software, where we provide a screen reading and magnification program that is quite similar to the other existing programs that are on the market, whether it would be possible, for example, depending on the end consumer, that they prefer to have a magnification. Magnification, for example, is possible up to 80 times. In general, people really don't use a magnification of 80 times because usually their sight is so poor that they will shift to speech, which is also possible within NVDA USA, and make that combination by magnification and also track the magnification with the speech, because sometimes with other packages this might be a problem. With speech, it's, for example, possible to have around 40 voices in all different languages, which makes it possible also in your location to make use of this software. And next to that, people that can read Braille, it is also possible to automatically detect your Braille display to the software, which is working seamlessly with the adaptation. So before we really head into the video to give you more of an insight what USA actually looks like, it is good to briefly mention why people actually use USA. And as Joost already mentioned, we would prefer to have a stable, reliable, easy to use package that can be accessed by everyone. So first of all, USA, for example, has only, with combination of NVDA, only 90 pages of a manual. Which means it is easy to read, easy to learn, and the learning curve is also quite steep. So in this case, basic users, but also advanced users can easily make use of USA in their work or home situation or even study situations. Next to that, because we are making use of existing features in Windows 10 and 11, we can assure you that USA can run on low system requirements. So the system requirement that I put on the screen is a Windows 10 with i5 processor, 4 gig of RAM with 200 MB of storage, excluding of course the voice files that are a bit more heavy compared depending on the location that you are. But we even have instances that the system requirements can be even lower. So a computer, for example, that is over 8 years old, having lower system requirement, then it's still possible to make use of USA. So it's compared to the other programs that are existing on the market, this is a really large difference. And due to the fact that the system requirements remain really low, we can assure you that the program is working stable and can also work reliable, especially when you are implementing it into software or server environments in big organizations. They would prefer to have a stable and reliable software. And next to that, due to the low system requirement, we can assure that there is a fast response speed, which, for example, we did a test with Supernova. Is in the same time where Supernova is starting up, we can restart NVDA USA 8 times in the same time, which gives a high speed. More of this will be shown in the video that I will show after my talk about the unique selling points, also limitations, because there are always some limitations. And to sum it up, USA offers all necessary basic functionalities, as you just mentioned, the focus marker, contrast adjustments, etc. Just to really core basic functions that can be used by over 80% of our target group. Because in practice, we see that the most common functionalities that are being used by these softwares are those basic functionalities. However, we do know that there is another target group that make use, for example, of Excel programs or more heavily programs. And our selling point as well is that because we produce everything in-house, we know that we can also include additional add-ons. So for example, we have the Excel Navigator Pro, where it would be possible to easily navigate within Excel in case a person is heavily using this feature. But of course, like I said, there are always some limitations to any software packages. So to give you a better idea, the best thing about USA is the reliability and the basic functionalities, but this can also be seen as a limitation because other packages might be more elaborate and more user-friendly when you're using a heavily relying software where there are some specifications needed that JAWS or Supernova is including. So, but still, the basic functionalities really work well, and we can offer it to a lot of end consumers. On the other hand, Joost also mentioned that it would not be possible to have dual screens. But as we also know and we practice and we give trainings in USA, we usually see that people prefer to have one screen with magnification and a second screen to have a little bit of overview of what's been happening. So for example, right now I'm talking to my laptop and I'm having my second screen next to me. I can easily toggle between the two screens in case I really need it. And with the right training and the right instructions, the end user can efficiently work with several screens. So we don't really see this as a big limitation, but depending on the end consumer. And also because we want to leave the system requirements on a rather base level, there is a lower quality of magnification. If you go, for example, 8 times magnification or up, you see that the letters will become a little bit grainy. However, it would be possible to also round off the letters to make it appear less grainy. But in practice, usually when people use a high magnification, this is so intense and so energy consuming, people usually transfer to speech, text to speech. So in this case, we don't really would see that as a major disadvantage for using USA. And of course, this is always depending on the end consumer. However, in our experience, we don't really see this as a problem. But yeah, enough talk about what it can do, what it cannot do. I would just show you a video what USA actually looks like. So this.
Welcome to this introductory video about Ultimate Screen Access, in short USA. Ultimate Screen Access is an assistive magnifier and screen reader software that enables people with visual impairments to process information on a Windows operating computer. USA enables that the computer can be operated either by using the mouse or entirely by keyboard. USA does not only include magnification, but also speech output and Braille. This package is excellent for the use with various types of visual impairments. USA can be used in work, study and home-related situations to make the desired information accessible on your computer. USA has several great assets. USA is known for its fast startup time, high response speed and low system requirements, which provides the desired stability.
Vergrotingsmeetplan la claim Lermout Fineas Lina B30 Mail E31 en VD Onbetekenend vergrotingsfactor 1.0.
The software is easy to use and your operating system can easily process this lightweight software package. USA can be used in combination with a program called Unicorn for professional server environments such as RDP, VDI or Citrix. With USA it is possible to choose from 40 voices in all common languages, such as Daniel, Emily or Serena in the English language.
Mijn naam is Xander.
Mijn naam is Claire.
My name is Samantha.
Using shortcut keys, it is easy to change the voices and adjust the settings, such as speaking speed or volume. In addition to these settings, your required color scheme and magnification factor can easily and quickly be adjusted to your personal preferences. Due to USA's high response speed, USA works accurately in all situations. USA has a clear settings menu in which all personal preferences for magnification, image enhancement, speech and Braille can be adjusted. In addition, the English manual or shortcut key list can be opened from the menu. USA has all necessary standard functions, but it is also possible to install additional extensions and functionality. The menu and its functions can be fully controlled with the shortcut keys. These include, for example, providing the time and date, toggling between different screen focuses and stopping the speech. When you are using the magnification within USA, it is possible to round off the letters, making them appear less grainy. Magnification can be set from 1 to 80. Since the magnification option is directly connected to the computer focus, it does not delay your computer's responsiveness. USA features all common color schemes such as high contrast and inverted colors. Using the focus and cursor markings, it is easy to follow your tasks on your computer. The speech settings, voices, speed, volume and quality can be changed quickly using the integrated voice rotor or shortcut combinations.
Volume 100, toonhoogte 50, snelheid 50, variant premie, stem Xander,
Stem Claire Nederlands.
Stem Samantha Engels.
Stem Serena Engels.
Ultimate Screen Access works seamlessly with all Braille display models. It also supports all Braille tables. Once a Braille display is linked, USA can detect the Braille display automatically. USA works together with every internet browser such as Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge and Internet Explorer. Websites are easy to visit since USA has extensive features to easily navigate within a website. For example, you can navigate by headings, previously visited links, input fields and buttons. In addition, you can search for a keyword or retrieve lists of links or headings on the website to help you better navigate the internet. USA makes it possible to navigate a website entirely with the keyboard and control all of its functions. Text can be converted to speech, read in Braille, or presented visually with image enhancement or magnification, making it suitable for everyone with a visual impairment. Ultimate Screen Access is a simple software package that, with the right skills and training, can be used in various situations. It is possible to get a trial version so that you can try the program yourself at work or during your studies or at home. We can also provide you a demonstration and advise you on the most suitable software package for you personally.
Yes, so hopefully this will give you a little bit of more insight into the possibilities within USA. Of course, I know the visuals are in Dutch, but hopefully it was possible to follow with the English translation. After our talk, we will have room to discuss all of the questions you might have. If you pop into a question, please feel free to put it in the chat so we can refer to it afterwards. So yes, this gives you a little bit of more insight into USA, but right now I would like to compare USA compared to the other magnifiers that are on the market. So right now I will give the comparison between USA magnifier with Zoom Text and also the Supernova. And we divided it into several topics. So firstly, the menu accessibility. Overall, we see that the menu accessibility is relatively easy to understand for all packages. And as, for example, USA is only having 90 pages of a manual, it is also rather easy to also understand and implement, which also gives me to the next point, the easiness to use. As you saw that it is quite handy to make use of shortcut keys to operate the system by mouse, for example, or even by keyboard, which stands USA apart from its competitors due to the fact that these softwares are more complex in usage. And also, as I mentioned, the speed and responsiveness, which was also shown in the video, is really impressive, which also differs from Zoom Text and the other competitors. However, the extra functionalities might be different depending on the end user. But as we already explained, most of the end users can make use of most of the basic functionalities, and whether they prefer to have an additional functionality, we can produce that in-house with an addition add-on, like the Excel Navigator Pro. But due to the fact that we don't offer these extra functionalities, the system requirement is different compared to the other competitors. Our system requirement is relatively low, which makes sure that everyone basically can use the packages, whereas Zoom Text and the other competitors usually have more delays, or you need to have a more recent computer to make use of the software. But the difference is that these softwares maybe have a high quality of magnification, where the letters are super clear. You can increase a zoom by a lot, but we think that this is possible to some degree at USA. But when people make use of a higher magnification, they usually transit into text-to-speech, which will also be more reliant on the system requirements. And in the end, the color contrast possibilities might be a little bit more elaborate on Supernova or Zoom Text, but we still see that you can still alter the contrast possibilities within USA. There are some standard, but you can also alter it to your personal preferences. And this gives you a little bit more about the comparison about the magnifier. But next to that, there's also a screen reader part in USA. So in this case, we would like to make the comparison between USA screen reader, JAWS, and the Supernova screen reader. And again, having these options, for example, with the menu accessibility. we still see that the menu accessibility is overall rather similar, easy to understand and to navigate within. However, still, these other elaborate packages might be more complex in use because there are more additional features that people can use and more pages in the manual, which makes it maybe a little bit more complex to learn and complex to use. So JAWS or Supernova might not be the best suitable option for example, beginning users or specific cases, whereas USA is providing you a baseline and can be easily used. And again, speed responsiveness, not to repeat myself too much, is a difference without having the extra functionalities that might not be used, for example, in JAWS or Supernova, which will remain the system requirement low for USA. So to sum this up, USA has definitely a competitive advantage compared to the other competitors that are on the market with regard to the usability, the steepness of your learning curve, and yeah, the easiness to learn. Their speed can operate stable, even to implement it in server environments. But first and foremost, because we haven't talked about it, of course, price. We develop USA internally, and we can offer a competitive pricing compared to the other screen reader softwares, which can be really interesting in the location that you might have. And in case you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, but we'll come back to you later on. So yes, I'll give the floor back to Joost, who will talk a little bit more about what kind of projects there are in using USA.
Yes, thank you, Dion. Yes, yeah. So yeah, you discussed about the unique selling points of USA, of course, also the limitations that there are, and then the comparison of the software with other products. And yeah, we see a lot of customer groups that we could help. We see that we can help people in the home situation. We deliver it to health insurance companies, so people can use it at their home. They like the software very much because it's very fast, stable, and also easy to learn, like Dion mentioned. The manual is very concise if you compare it to other products. And also the settings menu is very easy. If you look at Syntax Fusion, for example, I see a lot of people in the home situation that couldn't find certain specific settings, because you have all kinds of menus and options, setting menus. So I think USA is very suitable for the home situation, but also for students. There are lots of students in the Netherlands that are using USA to do their schoolwork. So of course you could easily install it also on the computer at school or at the laptop of a student or a Surface tablet, for example. But also in work environments, it's very suitable to use. But yeah, at one hand, because sometimes people have their own laptops, we could easily install it. But often we also see server environments like Citrix environments or RDP. And because USA is very lightweight, it is easily installed on server environments like Citrix, and also IT professionals like the package because it's very easy to install. That doesn't take much time, and it's also has not a very high impact on the server environment. And if you compare that to Supernova or Syntax Fusion, for example, they're very heavy, and not every IT professional wants to install it on their server environment. If you want, and there's one also big advantage, because you can combine USA and NVDA with Unicorn. Unicorn is also a software package that XView has developed, and Unicorn is a communication tool between the software of USA software on the server environment and on the local machine. So because if you have only USA on your local machine and you want to use an application on the server environment, then you don't have access to the application, so you don't see, you don't hear text or see Braille. And now we developed Unicorn as a communication tool that connects the USA on the server to USA on your own computer or on a thin client, for example. So with that solution, we could easily implement it in organizations. And also USA and NVDA are tested many times at governmental departments, but also at large organization on security risks. And it even passed the test with the NATO norms. That's the highest security level when we place it at the governmental department of foreign policies. It's easily. It can easily be installed at a large organization because it meets the demands of the security levels. And because we could easily implement it in organizations, there are a lot of large corporate organizations or governmental organizations that make use now of USA. We did quite some large projects in the Netherlands and also abroad. For example, the municipality of Rotterdam. About 4 years ago, there were 15 vision impaired employees there, and they experienced a lot of problems, technical problems with their software, instability problems with Supernova, for example. Also, some employees didn't have access to the server environment because they didn't could install Zoom text, for example. So and the support of the IT support, they couldn't help them with all of these problems. So some of the employees are even at home because they couldn't do their work properly, or they experiences a lot of problems. So we started there to do research to see what kind of software solution we could implement on the server environment, and we concluded that we could implement NVDA and USA combined with Unicorn, and we offer Unicorn as a site license for the entire municipality of Rotterdam. So 11,700 workplaces have now Unicorn, and all of the employees are now using USA, and for the blind users, NVDA. And now if a new employee is going to work at the municipality of Rotterdam, we just need 1 or 2 days to implement the software on one of the 3 locations of this employer. And before that, it took about a half year to implement the software. So it's now very easy to do an install of USA or NVDA because they have Unicorn in the organization, and now we could easily install it on their server environment. And we also write scripts, so some blind users use business applications, and for that to use that fully accessible, we write scripts as an add-on in NVDA. So that's also possible with the software. In the Netherlands, we have our own training academy, the Babbage Academy, and we provide training to the employees, so to make sure they use USA to the full extent. So that was a very successful project for us, because the 15 employees now are working very satisfied without technical problems, and really appreciate that we help them with USA. And also the IT professionals and other supportive employees at the municipality are very satisfied, because it has low impact on the server environment, and they now can implement software with 1 or 2 days. So that was a very successful project. And the second project I want to mention is ING, one of the largest banks in the world. There we did the pilot. ING had experienced also a lot of problems, because every employee was working with their own software, sometimes Supernova or ZoomText or JAWS or Fusion. And there were a lot of problems. They didn't have access to the server environment because the IT professionals couldn't install it because the packages were too heavy. There were a lot of problems with the software they are using on their workplace, and also stability problems, frozen screens. So employees were really complaining that they couldn't do their work properly. At ING, they decided to do a pilot to test the difference with USA. So the half of the employees were going to test USA for half a year, and the other half of the employees were still using their own software. And they did different tests during that period, and in the end they concluded that the group that was using USA that were more productive, they were more satisfied, and they had more accessible applications and could reach the programs on the server environment. and employees who are still using their own packages, they weren't that satisfied or productive, and had still had the technical issues that USA hadn't. So then they decided to implement USA in the entire Dutch ING bank, and also in Belgium and Germany. And also there people were satisfied, and the project was a big success. So they did last year they did implementation in all countries where ING is located. So we implemented now in 41 countries. And if a new employee with a visual impairment is going to work at ING in the country all over the world, they can go to a digital store and they just click USA or NVDA, and they have it within 1 hour. So that's a totally different way of implementing USA. But for ING, it's now very handy because they can offer USA or NVDA to every employee in the entire world. And because it contains 70 voices in 40 languages, it's also possible to easily switch to other voice or language. Also at ING, that was our largest worldwide project. But it gives insight that with USA and NVDA, we are able to help large organizations. Also, PricewaterhouseCoopers, for example, is the last one I want to mention. PricewaterhouseCoopers is a consulting organization, also worldwide. But we now are starting with the Dutch department. The few employees were already working there with the visual impairment, and they used their own software. But there was a student that we helped at USA. He was graduated, and he was starting working at PwC. And he didn't had technical issues or problems with the software that was used by PwC. But the other employees, they had a lot of problems. They didn't have access to the server environment, or had problems with the collaboration with software. So they're really looking at the new employee with USA, and also want to have USA. So a few employees had demo versions to use it as a trial period, and they're all convinced now of USA. So the entire group of employees in the Netherlands are now going to PwC, and we're now starting in the Netherlands, but of course we're trying in the nearby future also to spread it to other countries. We really noticing that if people use USA, if they use it as a demo version, they're really convinced, because it's such a difference in speed and in stability. Dion mentioned it, I think, that you can you can restart USA 8 times in one time that Supernova just only starts. So it has a lot of advantages, and of course there's also limitations. If people really want extensive settings or special functionality that isn't available in USA, for example, magnification on 2 screens, then of course Supernova or Fusion or ZoomText are better products for that. But in practice we see we can help about 80% of our customers with USA, and they end up satisfied customers, and that's of course what we want. And if you think, how can we help? How can we start with such a project? We of course can help you with that. So if you have a large organization, you want to test USA in combination of Unicorn, we can provide you with information, technical information. But of course, we can also help you to set up a pilot just to implement in an organization, so they can test it at the IT department, and also with one or more employees. And so it has a lot of advantages for a user, but also for maybe you as a distributor, because because there are no technical problems. The support department doesn't have to invest a lot of time with all of the issues that we have with, for example, Supernova. I see that we don't have many support issues with USA or NVDA. So that's lower costs, of course, and you don't need the resources on support for USA in compared to Supernova. second, Dion also mentioned the price level. I think we can offer it to a very interesting price, so you can easily use it for use in a tender, or yeah, you have a decent profit margin on the product, so it can easily compete on price with other products. That's also for you as a distributor nice to know. And yeah, in the end, what's most important is, of course, that your customers will be more satisfied. They aren't experiencing the problems that they now experiencing with the other products maybe. So so I want to give the word back to Dion now for the last slides about yeah, how we can help you and provide you with more information.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Joost. I think it's also good because I see that Julian had some questions, maybe to answer his questions first.
Yes, of course.
Because he said that is USA an add-on to NVDA, so I have to install NVDA first?
Yes, that's right. Yes, you first have to install NVDA, and then USA is added to NVDA as an add-on. We have an installation wizard, so we also have automatically installation procedure, so that guides you step by step to the installation process. But yeah, in fact, first NVDA is the basis, and then the vocalizer synthesizer are installed, and later on USA, and for the server environment also Unicorn, that's also add-on. Yes.
Yes, nice. Because he also mentioned that is USA recognized by the medical insurers? Has an EU medical aid number?
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah, and we also deliver it in the Netherlands at health insurance companies. Yes. Yes,
exactly. And he also mentioned that up to now he has used a Supernova at work, but he just retired, so he does not longer have the support of an employer. But what happens to the number block in Supernova? He loses the use of the number block as a number block because the keys are used to control Supernova.
Oh, you know a bit. I don't hear you quite well.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I do not really quite understand. Maybe Julia, maybe you can unmute yourself and maybe ask the question, because it's possible.
You can activate the microphone with Alt+A if you like.
Yeah.
No, maybe it doesn't have a microphone. I don't know.
No, because you mentioned that. What happens to the number block?
To the number block,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe you mean that at the num block with Supernova you have all kinds of functionality. Yeah? You can read the words, for example, or the title of the screen. And with USA that's also possible. So you have all kinds of shortcuts to pronounce the title, for example, or to pronounce a word or a sentence or a letter. So I think that USA has the same functionality as Supernova. The only difference I think is in screen enhancements. Supernova has much more functionality. Of course, supports dual screens and has a lot more settings to adjust the screen or your mouse or the focus than USA has. But that's also that makes the package also much more heavier. So yeah. So there's a second question.
Yeah, you said it's no longer possible to use the number block to enter numbers.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes, of course, because the number block has to be off. You're using the short keys with a number block, but with USA it's also possible to use laptop layout. And if you use laptop layout, then you don't have to use your numlock. We see a lot of laptops in these times that aren't having a numlock at all. So then you can use all shortcuts just only with your QWERTY layout and not with the numpad.
Yes, perfect. So hopefully that answers your question, Julia. And don't worry about not having a mic. Hopefully we're able to answer your questions. And of course, if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to us via info@accessforyou.eu, or just give us a ring, because we can help you with any additional questions that you might have. Because that leads us to our next slide. Because what are the next steps? Because we explained to you about what USA entails, what would be possible, but I would encourage you to try out USA yourself. try out if it works in your specific situation, if you see potential to, for example, implement it as a distributor or end user. So please reach out to us at info@accessforyou.eu, because we can provide you with a download link free of charge just to try out the software. But also, we mentioned, and Joost mentioned as well, about implementation possibilities in USA, for example, in organizations. So please ask us how we did it, for example, because maybe it would be possible to help your organizations that you are working with to implement a reliable software. So feel free to reach out. And also, in case you don't really know if implementation would be possible, so we can provide you with some insights, because in the end, we're all here together to help people with a visual impairment to gain access to the information they need and to help them continue their task on their computer. So we will provide you with all the insights we can provide you.
We even see that we can install it in every server environment. So also VMware or Horizon, for example, RDP, Citrix, every Microsoft Ivanti environment. So that there isn't a technical environment that we couldn't implement it.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of possibilities. I didn't know of one situation that we couldn't implement it. So in the past there were a lot of situations that we couldn't implement Supernova or ResumeText. So please take contact if you think that you have a certain organization that you want to implement it, or you want to use it as a demo version. Then of course we could help you with the installation and provide you with a demo license so you can use it yourself.
Yes, definitely. And also I put in the contact information in the chat in case you would like to copy and paste it in your desktop. So yes, that leaves us with some closing remarks, because thank you for attending this meeting about Ultimate Screen Access. Hopefully we're able to give you more of an insight into the possibilities and also the differences between the other comparable software packages. And please, I want to emphasize, please do get in touch with us to try out USA for yourself. We can help you with the installation, some support questions, and also give you our insights in the work that we do.
Yes.
So,
okay.
And in case you have any additional questions, please feel free to unmute yourself or put the questions in the chat, because we're happy to answer them.